Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I am Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined today by Samico Chilton. How are you doing today, Samico?
I am doing good. How are you
We're so
guys
excited
doing?
to have you. We're doing great. Perfect. And I can't wait to hear about what's going on in your life right now. But I always like to get a little background first about what was going on before you started to start a preschool.
All right. So before I started the preschool, I've been working with kids for 29 years.
Oh, wow.
20, yes, close to 29 years.
Okay.
And I taught pre-K and I taught years. What I've been doing is teaching kindergarten for the past 2 years. And I actually finished off my year this year to actually launch my preschool on my own. So
yes,
I'm so excited. So that's basically what I've been doing beforehand. I went to school, got my master's, and I always told myself that I wanted to actually have my own school. And I do remember one of the food ladies when I worked in Head Start teaching pre-K, she was asking me what I wanted to do, and I told her, and it was like she tried to kind of doubt me and tear me away from it, basically because she was saying that it would be hard, like trying to be with the food program and being out on your own and trying to all of that, like with the state and all of that. I'm thinking to myself, I've had a daycare before, I've been with the state before, but I was like, oh, really? I just kind of kept going. I was like, you're not going to deter me because one day I'm going to have my own preschool. So thanks to Joy,
awesome. We don't need any of that negative energy in here. Get rid of
that
lady.
No, that's why I was like, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I don't understand what goes through someone's mind when you tell someone like your plan and they're like, no, you can't do that. Like, what? Excuse me? That makes me want to do it more.
Go hard. Yes, that's just what I was going to say. That makes you want to do it even harder. Like,
exactly.
Push.
Yes. So were you teaching kindergarten with the school district?
Yes. Kindergarten with the school district. Pre-K was basically with Head Start, and that was with two different we have like Broken Arrow, Oklahoma here, and then we have like Tulsa. So in Broken Arrow, they had like a Head Start that was basically called CARD, and that was through a community action resource and development. Okay. And then I went with CAP, which was Community Action Project. And both of those were two different entities, but awesome programs. And it really like got me started when I was with CAP. That was where I actually was able to go to school and get my master's, because one thing I can say about CAP is they push you to further your education. Like a lot of their staff, they don't want them to just sit there. Their goal is for you to get further ahead, push you to get your education, and they help you by assisting you by paying for it. So
wow, that is amazing. Yes, totally. Yes. So did you get your master's in early childhood?
Yeah, so my master's is in curriculum instruction with early childhood education.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, okay. That's exciting. Okay. So what made you want to go out on your own, and how did you find joy?
So, again, I've always said that was what I wanted to do, is go out on my own preschool. That was what pushed me. I had one of my staff actually at CAP that pushed me to get my master's. And I was like, you know what, when I do it, then this is my opportunity to really just branch out and be able to learn the curriculum of it, figure it all out, and go for it. And the way I found joy was basically just on Facebook. Like, I had been seeing it come across like over and over, but you know how you get so much stuff that come across your Facebook. You don't know what's real, you don't know what's fake, you don't know, so I just kept passing it up. So when we hit the pandemic, I was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try a free book, and I can pay $7 for shipping and handling. Why not?
Yeah.
So I did it, and I was like, okay, well, if the book comes, then I know it's real. If it doesn't, there's
$7
I can do. Right. So when it came, I was like, yes. So I honestly, I skimmed through it and I sat it down. I sat it down for several months until, so that was like in March when I received, March is when I received my book. Okay. I actually didn't open it back up until like November, December.
Okay.
And when I dug into it, and it was like I actually joined the preschool system.
Okay.
And I was seeing it, and I started seeing where she was having her YouTube pages. I started listening, and I was like, okay, this lady's serious. Like, she's all about trying to help, and like, what can I do? So it just pushed me to really just get the book. I started taking notes, and I really one of the YouTube, I can't remember the lady's name, but it was when she talks about, she went over how she did her online preschool, and showed like samples of her and her kids and all of that. And I took detailed notes from that, and I was like, I can do that. And then it dawned on me, and I said, you know what? I'm teaching kindergartners online. What am I thinking about? What have I been waiting on?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
So it was just like, I got to do this. So I was like, you know what? I can finish doing my kindergartners. And when I noticed that she was like in her book and the examples, and just listening, reading the different posts in the preschool system, how it was different times that you can do. So I was like, okay, I can do after I get off work, and I can try to pull and teach kids online. So that's how I got started with that. I dug deep into the book, took notes, started pulling into the YouTube and taking notes off of that, going on, and there I go.
And the rest was history.
It has been, yes. And
all right, well, tell me about that. I want to know that stuff now that we got the background. What's going on now?
So now I am actually going into local preschool, and another one of our all-stars. I love all-stars. I love my all-star ladies. They're always like throwing out different things. So another lady had posted about the little mobile homes or sheds that you can get. And I was like, what?
Like portables?
Yes.
Okay.
Like you can do the portables, or you know how they have like all these little, around Oklahoma, we have all these little coffee shops that are popping up, and they're in like these little mobile like homes. Okay. And they're mobile, but they're just like parked in a parking lot or something, you know, just different places. So I was like, I see all these different places. So I started researching and went to the site that she had posted about it, and started going like to the Home Depot, the Lowe's, and pulling up all the different like sizings and all of that. So, and I stay on a corner lot. I have property. I have enough land. So I was like, instead of me trying, because at first I'll tell you, I was really trying to figure out how I can find a place to do a local preschool.
Right.
And I was thinking about like renting out a 2-bedroom home, all of this craziness. And finally I was like, you know what? I have the property. So I talked to my husband and talked to my mom, spoke to my pastor, my church, just getting feedback from different people. Yeah. And finally I went, and now I'm having a preschool built on my property in my backyard.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool.
Yes. Yes. So I'm excited. I did have a setback. Reason being is because of the weather. Oklahoma weather has been crazy. Pretty much all over has been crazy. So it's been a lot of rain, and in the process of them doing everything, it kept raining and kept raining. So it kind of pushed my dates back and kept pushing it back. So they're not complete with all of it. They have one half done. The other half is still open. So yeah.
So is it one of those portable things, one of the mobile things, or is it like an actual brick and mortar building?
Well, so mine was, I don't know, it can be mobile if I wanted it to, because what I did was I actually did a foundation of concrete. And I really didn't have to, but I wanted to because I didn't really want it sitting on the ground, even though they built a floor in the inside of it. So I went and picked out like a shed type building, but I got it like where it's like 400 or something square feet, somewhere in there.
Nice.
And so I made it to where if I probably wouldn't, but my husband was like, I think we would want to take it, but probably wouldn't. I would leave it here. But it's on the concrete to where you can actually, like if you wanted to move. Yeah, you just have to pay
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those big old moving trucks to put it on top of there and all of that.
Yeah. Well, if you ever move, just take the whole thing with you. That's a good idea. I mean, that is a nice option to have.
It is.
Okay, so but you are doing online right now before your local starts?
So I'm taking a break right now, but I
Okay.
still have like a couple of online students because I had a student that was in Houston.
Okay.
And I
But
still
you
have
were doing
him.
online. When did you start the online class?
I started in March. So
Okay.
it was spring break with our district that week. I was like, okay, that's the week where I'm off. I don't have to worry about lesson plans,
Yeah.
anything. I can strictly focus on getting my online preschool going. So that's when I started. So I started in March of this year.
Okay.
And I actually ended the last day of our district school, which was the 28th of May.
Okay. And so tell me how that was. How did that work? How'd you get students? How was that?
So with that, it was just the marketing
Did you
family
do the
script.
founding? The
Yes,
script.
I did the founding family script. I did do that. I didn't do the 7 and 7 because I came in after that. So I did the 30-day challenge, and after I finished that, then that's when I posted my family founding script and just kind of sent it to old parents that I had, like with the daycare when I had my daycare friends. Sent it to my son. He has like friends that have kids now, so he shared it, and I just kind of marketed it that way, word of mouth, putting it out on Facebook, having people share it, all of that. So that's how I ended up getting that. And
and what were the times that you did?
So the times that I did was 4 to 4:30.
Okay.
And then later on I did 4 to 4:30, and then I did a 5 to 5:30.
Okay. And you had one class, it was the same kids, and what days was it on?
So I do Monday through Thursday, but I split it up to where like my 5 and 5:30, they will come like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then my other ones will be like the 4 to 4:30.
Okay. Okay, cool. And how many kids did you have in that?
I had 5.
Okay.
I started off with 6. I ended up with the 5 because one of my parents, she just basically kind of did the recordings of it. So he never really showed up, and then eventually stopped like even doing the recordings and all of that. But I started off with 5, which was good.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So did you have it, you did recorded classes, and then you had like the preschool pals? Is that how it worked?
Okay. So what I did was on Monday, I would do a recorded class, and that was just basically to introduce the week, to let them know everything that we will be going over.
Okay.
That way they can have all the different activities prepared for the rest of the days of the week. I will let them know kind of like what days we will be doing what activities, and if there was an activity for that week, I would either email it if it needs something that was emailed to them, or I would mail it out if it was something that needed to be mailed out. Some of them that was like locally, I would just deliver it. But like for my Houston student, I would actually mail his out and make sure that we did our activities on a day that I knew that it would be getting to him so that he could be included.
Okay, cool. And do you have like a special niche to your preschool? Is it just the preschool concepts? You know, is there any specific thing that you marketed other than just the normal preschool classes? You know, like some people do Spanish or something like that.
I did. I actually have the Spanish on there. I have the active kids. I just recently backed out of the active kids, but I did have it, and I did do it with them. They actually enjoyed a lot of it, but a lot of them that the songs that Joy already had on there, they enjoyed those a lot more. So I kind of geared towards those more. With the Spanish, I didn't do the lessons with them yet. I was basically kind of putting that more towards my local. But some of the things that I did was I would do like videos of the days of the week that would be in Spanish and English. Mm-hmm. I would do like randomly like do a number or here and there that was Spanish and English so that they can like hear the difference of it. But that was some of the things that I just did. Just pinpointing like days that I did talk Spanish. I didn't do that. I'm going to basically do that with my local.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the active kids, because I saw people talking about that on the All-Stars group, but I didn't look more into it. But tell me about that. Because I'm interested.
So yes, so Active Kids is actually really interesting. They have yoga, they have like karate, they have like cheerleading. So if you have the little girls that want to do the cheerleading, they have all of that. They have like a toddler sweat class, older kids class. It's just broken down into different classes, and you get to choose which one you want to do once you become a member, and you can just go to that particular one. Like for example, if I wanted to do karate that day, I would go to the karate and then go down and look at the different videos that they had, and I would choose that. But the main one that I did was basically like the toddler one, and I loved it because some of the, like when I was doing circles, she has one of the ladies did an activity where it pulled in circles, and she had the shape included with her activity that she would do. Like she would show the shape, show the color, all of that type of stuff. So it was like, it kind of like, if you really like paid attention and go through the video, and you could have tied it into whatever you were doing that week. So I liked it. It was really good.
So other than the toddler one, did they have classes for each specific what am I trying to say? Each specific age? That's what I'm trying to say. Did they have like,
they had the little ones, but they had the older ones. And honestly, some of the workouts can be for adults.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I can do this. Like, I would get tired working out with them. I was like, I'm out of breath.
And how long are the lessons or the videos?
30 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I would get, so I wasn't able to actually do the whole video. I would like break it up because, you know, you're doing your preschool power, basically 30 minutes. So I would like break it up and like do a little bit. If I was like, for example, with the circle one that I did, or with the triangle one that I did, I just did maybe like 5 minutes of it and made sure I geared it into later on throughout the week where she showed the actual shape that we were doing. So I just kind of like reiterated, remember, this is our shape, this is what we're working on, and watch what she does. So that's kind of how I did it instead of doing the whole straight 30 minutes. That would have took up my whole preschool.
Yeah, you can't do that. But that sounds fun. And how much is the membership? Is it like a monthly thing?
It is. You can choose monthly or you can choose yearly. I got in when she had the special for the All-Stars, which was $17 a month. So that's what.
Nice.
It was,
yes. I think I'm going to look into that for my local, because that would be nice to have different, you know, karate. I like that. But the boys, I have so many boys this year. Like almost all my classes are boys with like 1 or 2 girls sprinkled in. So I feel
I've been seeing that. Like a lot of the All-Stars has been saying that they have a whole lot of girls that like, do anybody have any a lot of boys or a lot of girls? Like mainly I've been seeing boys though, and it sounds familiar because like even when I taught my pre-K, I always had a whole lot of boys. And maybe like 5 girls, and we had our classes was class size of the pre-K was 20 together. Yeah,
that's a lot of kids.
Yes, and just imagine if you have like 10 or 13 boys, or you know, and then a little bit of girls, and you just like,
totally.
So and then with our kindergarten,
worked out.
Yeah, you have 28, and so
a lot of boys. Woo. Okay, so you had the online school, and then you decided that you're going to do local, so you're setting that up. And when are you planning, hoping that it's all going to be up and running?
It should, like, I start my camp. So I am doing a camp. I'm doing a summer camp. That's on the 29th of this month. So I do start that this month. I have like a morning session, an evening session. I do like a 8:30 to 11:30. Then I do a 12:30 to 3:30. Or I'll do the full day if they choose to pay the full day with a little bit more extra that they have to pay for full day, which is the 8:30 to 3:30. And that's going to be plan B, which will be in my front room. So we've actually moved all the furniture out, and I'm going to be setting that up for the meantime until they're complete. But they should be done within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Nice. So, yay. That's so exciting.
It is.
So are you having 2 separate, I know you said some kids stay for the full day. So are you having 2 separate classes, like a morning class and an afternoon class?
Yes. So if I have like if I have one that comes in, I prefer the ones that's going to stay all day to come to the evening, the second session. That way, I can have them up until 3:30. But it's like 2 of them that needs it from 8:30 to 3:30. So in that time where we're doing like the 11:30 to the 12:30 when the other kids are coming in, I'll do like a lunch for them and just like a quiet time. Mm-hmm. And then they'll possibly even do an activity like a craft while I'm teaching with the other kids. And I have my mother that's going to be helping. So she'll possibly do like a craft setup with them. And then I can do like the circle time with the evening kids. And then I'll have them all join in together after I do my circle time. That way they won't have to double with the same circle time.
You know, that's kind of what I found myself doing now. And I have the morning class from 9 to 12 and then a half-hour lunch break, and then an afternoon class from 12:30 to 3:30. And Joy said, she's like, don't have them stay all day. And I was like, oh, I might, and now I'm like kind of regretting it. I should have listened to Joy. I'm regretting it because I have like 3 kids that stay on all day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And right now one kid stays all day, Tuesday, Thursday. And I mean, like it fills the classes because now I sit and we eat lunch. They bring a lunch from home or whatever. But now we have the thing of like, they're kind of doing the same circle time in the second class. They're kind of, and I'm like, it makes it so much harder to have to like, do I have to plan like 10 different lessons right now instead of just 5 different, like what did I do to myself? So it's harder. I've already signed them up for this year, but I think next year I'm going to go back to only half days. That's what the program was meant to, like my program was meant to do, because man, and that takes away my lunch break. Cause now I'm eating lunch with the kids in the classroom instead of, cause I did have
getting your time.
And no. And I'm like, what did I do to myself? And my husband's like, I know originally you said you weren't going to do it. And then I always do that. I'm always like, yeah, I could just do this. And then I regret it.
That was me. Me. So don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up. I was the same way. Cause it was mainly like, my online kids that I had, and they were really pushing because they was like, well, are you going to do all day? And I'm just like, no. But then it was just like, I guess I can just do like 5 kids, which was, I had 5 online kids. So I was like, I can just do the 5. Well, word gets out.
I know. It always, no. Next year I will.
Yes, that's what I was
These are the lessons we learn.
Like you.
Yeah.
Like I've learned. So next year when I do my marketing and all of that, I'm going to be like
half day.
Yeah. This time or this time. Because I actually do Monday through Thursday, but I have Friday is considered like 2 days out of the month. It's considered fun-filled Friday. So we'll do like go on a field trip, or I'll have like events set up to where we'll do crafts and do a movie, or just different stuff like that. We may have like a water day or, stuff like that. So it's just going to be strictly like fun filled. And I have that for an additional price. So it's not, because it's not included in my tuition. So if they choose to do it, then they'll have to pay for that Friday.
Yeah. That was another thing I did this year. I had classes Monday through Thursday all year. And it was like the most amazing thing ever for a whole year, only like having 3-day weekends every week. I've never had that in my life. I've always worked like 3 jobs until I started, and I loved it. And then now I'm like, well, we could do 5 days because now the program's full and blah, blah, blah. And I'm 2 weeks into it. And I'm like, what have I done? And I'm like, I don't get my 3-day weekend anymore. I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like all the reasons that I like, and I just had the baby. So I'm like, I'm like branching out and starting all these things. And I'm like, wait, the reasons were so I wouldn't have to work so much. And now I'm just like, I can work more. I know. Oh, it's so hard though, when you have the option to like put out more things and offer more things to people. It is. It's more work, but it's also like expanding the business. So it's kind of like a give and take, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Definitely hard. But so how much do you charge for your program?
So for my 4-day a week, it's $260. Okay. And for the 2-day a week, it's I just changed it. $195. Yeah. Okay. $195.
And did you get those prices by like looking at centers and home cares in your area? Did you kind of average the two, or how did you come up with those prices?
Basically, I actually tried to look up the centers in my area, and I know like one of the places because I actually will go up there and do like activities with the kids outside. So I didn't really want to go up there, but all of the ones for me to get the actual prices, it was like I would have to register, and I was
I know
like,
they're so shady about
no.
that.
I was like,
No.
no, I don't
Put your
do that.
prices. I know.
Give me
Because
the
Joy
price.
always says, Joy says, put your price out there because it's a waste of time if
Yeah,
people can't afford you and then they're coming in, which I totally agree with. Like, I would rather just put it out there. And if they can't,
yeah,
if it's not for them, then we won't waste
they'll
both of
move
our time.
on,
So
right?
I don't understand why. Like that was the same here. Like so many places around me didn't have their prices listed. And I'm like, am I gonna have to be shady and like pretend that I want your care? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But it is frustrating.
It is. But I have like one. I have a district school that's on the corner down like cat a corner from me. I
Okay.
have one actual child care center, and then two or three like daycare homes.
Mm,
So I'm the only like preschool in my area, but
yeah. Nice.
and I know one of the daycare homes they actually do teach. I don't know if her hours. I tried to look her up too, but same thing. And I was like, no, I don't want them because it was like soon as I went in there, it was like, how can we help you? And I was like, no, I just want to know your price.
Yeah, totally.
So
Totally.
I wasn't able to do that, but the way I actually came up with my prices is I just kind of based on everything that I was including and with the Spanish because I actually got the program for the Spanish. So I just kind of like did that, and people are still telling me that I'm still like ripping myself off, but again, I'm just starting out again, and I want to wait until I build up, and then like I'll next year like probably raise the prices. So I just kind of thought about that, thought about the area that I'm in because like the area I'm in is low income, so I didn't want to put it too high to where I get people that don't really look, and
Yeah.
don't not really interested. So I want it to be a little bit affordable, and I thought about doing like a weekly 100 and something a week, but I was like, no, because that's gonna make it to where they're not gonna be able to do it, and especially with us still kind of just now trying to come out of the pandemic, others still going back to work. So I just had to think about all of that, and that's how I just kind of put it together.
Awesome. Nice. So tell me about how the All Stars helped you on this journey. How did Joy and being part of the Preschool All Stars group help you?
They've helped a whole lot. So, with the All Stars, even with Joy, just everything that she pours out, like pour out into you, pour out that she's learned. I can say a lot of it that she talks about is literally true. I mean, because going through like getting my master's, all of that stuff, with the NACY and all of that, it's really good. So that's what kind of pulled me because I was just like, okay, she follows NACY. That's what Head Start follows. So I know that, and Head Start is basically like the preschool. They're starting at 2 and on up. So I knew that that was something that was good. And with the All Stars, just all the encouragement. Like, you know how you get a whole group of ladies together and you get that downing and all of that. It was none of that. Like, it's like everybody is always like building you up. When you have a problem, like, that's just the place where you can go and just be like, vent. Like, like how you are with some of your family that you can just go to and talk to them. I just know if I put something out there with the All Stars, I know it's not going to be like hard cut criticism. It's going to be something that's going to come back to me with encouragement or, don't beat yourself up or try this, So just different things like that is what I really, really loved about being in the group with the All Stars. Like, it's another family.
So. Totally. I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So is your local preschool, is it licensed? Are you working with licensing or is it unlicensed?
So I started off with licensing, but it was going to really set me back because they're just now going back into the field and trying to get caught up. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this. So she told me I needed to write a letter or sign this paper to withdraw out of it because they were going to have to come out and do measurements and all this type of stuff. And then once it was done, and because I kept getting put back with the rain and all of that with the building, then that was like I would still get put back with them. And the way they were putting it to me was if I did do the licensing, I couldn't actually keep kids until I got approved. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I know that I can, because actually here, I don't know, I know every state is different, but if we are doing a certain amount of hours, like if we stay with up under those hours a week, then you can do the part day school is what they call it. So we'll be listed as a part day school, but it still falls under daycare. But when you do your application, you check part day school, and you can actually do it without being licensed. And there's no limit to kids.
What? There's no limit?
No.
Oh my God.
I said that too. I said, so you're telling me that as long as I stay up under these 15, 16 hours a week, like I can't go over. If I do go over, then I have to be licensed.
Okay.
But if I stay up under that, there's no limit of, and she said, no, you just have to stay, because you're not licensed. So it's like they don't have to come in checked or anything like that. But she said, just make sure you don't go over, because if we hear or find out, then we're going to come out. So I was like, got it.
Goodness. If that were the case here, I probably wouldn't be licensed either, because gosh, licensing is a pain, and I'm allowed 4 kids without a license and 6 kids with a license. So I got the license, but I just got renewed, and it was like I spent the last few months stressing about it,
Yeah.
If I could have as many kids as I wanted and just stay under the hours, which I probably do anyway. Oh man, Oklahoma. You said you're in Oklahoma? That's where you're at?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, I know this is supposed to be a pain, but when she told me that, I was like, okay, let me clarify this. Because I'm totally at an awe, because Oklahoma is always so much harder, just different than other states to try to get stuff done. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just like, I got it.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not doing this.
So how many kids are you going to have in your class, do you think? What are you going to cap it at?
I want to say for now, I'll say 16. But if I get 24, I'm cool with that. And that's not 24 at one time.
Okay.
That's not 24. Yeah, that's just with different, total altogether with the different breakup of the classes, 24. Okay. But for my max, I would not want to go over per class 10 to 12. Okay. I don't want to go over that amount. So per class, I would prefer to have 10 to 12.
Yeah. So, yeah. My whole program right now is capped at 24 because I have 6 kids in each class and 4 classes. So it works out like that. But man, if I could have more, I probably would. Actually, I like the small class sizes. I mean, and it's a good thing to advertise, parents are like, what? Only 6 kids in a class? That's unheard of for most places. So it actually is, it works in my favor.
It's much better. It is much better. And I mean, again, coming from having to have 24 to 28 in one class.
Yeah, totally.
When I say 10, I'm like, I'm in heaven.
I know. When I taught first grade, I had 21, and then I came and had 6 at a time, and I was like, what? This is amazing.
Yeah.
So
you
nice.
Get more one-on-one.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love the one-on-one time. That's what I always wanted when I was teaching in the district, was one-on-one time,
I did.
And that's what they want
really
too.
Hard.
It was almost impossible. Yeah. You get the small group, but those kids need they need one-on-one, when you're that age. And it would hurt my heart every day that I'm like, I couldn't give them the attention they need. Exactly. I know they need more attention. Yeah. So it is nice to be able to give them that attention now. Definitely.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I know that your local preschool isn't even officially open yet. It will be in a couple of weeks, but what are your next plan? What are your big plans for it? Your next steps? I mean, I know this is crazy to ask because this is your next big step, but what would you dream be? Oh, of course you do. That's what I want to hear. Okay, go ahead.
So really after getting this going and doing it for a while, again, my next step is to actually have that big building that I'm really wanting. So, and that's what I was going to say. Eventually later on, I will end up doing licensing because of the simple fact that I actually want an actual school building. One of the things I've been paying attention to now, because we've had a few daycares that have actually shut down. And it's like 2 of them that was actually selling their place. And I was like, ooh, if I could afford it like right now, I would have just went and got it. But that, and I'm going to check into it. This will probably be a couple of years from now, but how it would be like within a school district or tying into another childcare center and partnering with them. So those are like some goals or things that I'm thinking of and trying to do. But again, it'll be like a couple of years down. I want to get this going and get my feel for being back, like teaching and on my own, actually. Managing. Because when I did my daycare, I had that for like 18, 19 years. So I've been out of the loop for that for about almost 6-7 years. Yeah. So just trying to get myself back into it first, and then those are my goals.
Yeah, I love those goals. That sounds awesome. And I'm sure you will make them. You seem like the kind of person who makes a goal and makes it happen.
Yes, I try.
I mean, that's pretty much what the All-Stars are, right? We're just a bunch of ladies who make a goal and make it happen. Yeah.
Yep. That's what joy pushes us for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. My last and final question for the ladies who are like where you were at maybe a year ago or so and thinking about, I've always wanted to start my own thing, or can I do this, or can I quit my job and start my own? But what would you say to them?
So I would tell them, anybody that is on the fence, you can do what you want to do. You just have to believe in yourself. Basically, I mean, that's kind of like, I tell my kids, my preschoolers, we have a pledge. We do a pledge that's similar to the Pledge of Allegiance, but it's their pledge, and it's basically saying that if I believe in myself, I can do whatever I want to do. I can make my dreams come true. So basically, if you feel that you can do that, even if you don't have a good degree, even if you have that little like no person in the back of your mind that's telling you no, or somebody that's telling you won't succeed, go for it, push it. Like, you have to, again, believe in yourself. You can do whatever you want to do. And that's what I would tell you. Like, that was one of my things. Like, one of the reasons why I put the book aside and I hadn't even did anything is because of the simple fact that I didn't know where to start. I didn't think I can do it. And once I started reading and hearing and listening to her YouTubes and hearing how she was saying that you can do it, and having the different like people talk about it, and reading like in the preschool system, all of that, I was just like, I can do this. Like, I got it. Yeah. And I still was frustrated, but again, if you just push yourself, believe in yourself, you can do it.
Amen. Love that. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much, Samico, for talking to me. I enjoyed your story, and I wish you all the best of luck. We're opening.
Thank you.
It's going to be amazing.
You.
Thank
and congratulations
you so much
on the baby.
Thank you.
All right.
Great time talking to you. You have a great night.
Thanks.
If you loved today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories, so you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.